Dead zone. It's an environmental hazard affecting those who make their living on the Gulf of Mexico and the rest of us who enjoy eating their catch. CNN's Alan Chernoff reports.
Louisiana fisherman Terry Pisani looks across the water with a sense of loss. What used to be the best fishing grounds in the Gulf of Mexico, he says, are barren.
You don't see nothing, and usually you see bait fish on the water. You don't see no bait fish or nothing. Nothing's there. I don't have no kind of testing material to test the water, but I know something's wrong.
This is the test. 35 miles into the Gulf of Mexico, oceanographers sample water deep below.
This sensor measures the oxygen level in the water. The deeper it goes, the less oxygen it finds. And in this part of the Gulf of Mexico, there's virtually none at the bottom.
We're not finding enough oxygen to support life, aquatic life.
The dead zone, a vast portion of the Gulf of Mexico seabed that loses most of its oxygen. It forms every summer, but this year it's especially large, 8,000 square miles, nearly as big as New Jersey. Scientists say the cause is hundreds of miles up the Mississippi. Farmers across the Midwest use tons of nitrogen and phosphorus to fertilize corn, allowing them to satisfy growing demand from ethanol factories and developing countries. This summer's flooding caused much of the fertilizer to run off into rivers that flow into the Mississippi.
The size of the low oxygen zone has increased in proportion to these nutrients reaching the Gulf.
The fertilizer flowing into the Gulf triggers an overgrowth of microscopic algae.
These things will fall to the bottom, and as they decompose, they consume oxygen.
The lack of oxygen causes bottom dwellers, fish and shrimp, to swim away in search of oxygen. Clams, crabs, starfish, and other slow-moving sea life suffocate. To find lots of shrimp, fishermen like Terry now have to travel far to the edge of the dead zone, an expensive proposition with the cost of diesel fuel still high. So many boats are idle, others are staying away from their home port in Grand Isle, Louisiana. A disaster for seafood processor Dean Blanchard, who buys shrimp from fishermen.
You know, all my boats had to go somewhere else to try to make a living. It's a shame, you know. This is the prime shrimping ground in the country right here. And it shut us down. It just shut us down. It's unreal.
With demand for corn growing, experts say the dead zone could expand in coming years, an environmental hazard that threatens Louisiana's seafood industry. Alan Chernoff, CNN, in the Gulf of Mexico.
Also tonight, new fears about a dangerous gas, and the oil hits hard again for a Gulf tradition.
In the water, more signs of serious trouble. Oceanographer John Kessler tells NBC's Robert Bazell the oil contains high levels of methane, a gas that can deplete oxygen and create dead zones.
The bottom waters are way more concentrated with their natural gas than we could have imagined. 6 orders of magnitude, 1,000,000 times more, is a tremendous amount more methane and natural gas.